My father discovered $45,000 hidden in my floorboard safe. He told me, "I used it for your brother's party. I thought of it as a gift." I simply looked at him and replied, "Understood." About 15 minutes later, my grandfather entered and asked, "Mark, where's the money I entrusted you with?" My father instantly turned pale. I leaned toward Grandpa and whispered 6 words. He made a quick phone call, and within minutes there was a knock at the door. "Where the hell is the money, Peter?" My father's voice cut across the kitchen like a knife, shaking the old light above the table. The smell of burnt coffee lingered, half-empty plates scattered. Chairs scraped roughly against the tiled floor as my sister Leah stormed in, already glaring at me as if she knew the answer. "You don't just hide 45 grand under a floorboard for no reason," she snapped. "What are you even doing with that kind of money?" I sat at the far end of the table, my fingers pressed together, silent. My father, Mark, leaned forward, veins pushing against his forehead. "I told you," he shouted. "I took it. I used it for Ethan's party. He deserved something after all he's done for this family." "Deserved?" My voice was calm but sharp. "He deserved my money?" My father's jaw tightened. Then, as if to deflect, his eyes locked on me. "Admit it, Peter. You've been hiding things from us. You always were sneaky." The room turned toward me like I was already guilty. "My name is Peter. I'm 26. I've lived in this house my whole life, but never really belonged here. I was always the quiet one, the one they blamed when something went missing, the one they ignored when I tried to speak. Over time, I stopped trying. My silence became their excuse. But silence doesn't mean weakness. It doesn't mean blind loyalty either. I've kept notes, memories, truths, every betrayal carved deep inside me. They think I'm harmless because I don't yell. They think my calm means I accept it all. They don't know that tonight. I've been waiting for this moment, this slip, waiting to show them I've always known more than I ever let on. Family members introduced. Mark, my father, 58. Loud. Always the judge, never the guilty one. He wears his pride like armor, but I've seen it crack. He talks about honesty while lying through his teeth. Ethan, my older brother, 29, the favorite, the one they'd protect no matter what he did. He ruined jobs, wrecked cars, broke promises. But somehow, he was the hope of the family. Leah, my younger sister, 22. Quick temper, quicker tongue. She loved taking jabs at me because it made her feel bigger, braver. But behind the sarcasm was someone still desperate for Dad's approval. And my mother, Claire, 53. Fragile. She never defended herself, never defended me, always whispering, "Let it go, Peter. Don't make things worse." This was my family, a circle I was trapped in, where loyalty only ever went one way, away from me. Ethan leaned against the wall, smirking. "Seriously, Peter, who even saves cash anymore? You act like some paranoid old man." "What, were you hiding drug money?" Laughter escaped Leah before she caught herself. "Maybe that's why he never talks. Maybe Peter's been running his own little business." My father slammed the table, rattling glasses. "Enough. Don't distract from the point. That money was for us, for family needs." "Family needs?" I tilted my head. "You mean Ethan's party? Or your gambling debts? Which one was more important?" The words slipped out, but I didn't regret them. Dad's face went pale for a second. Then his voice dropped, lower, harsher. "Don't you dare throw that in my face. I've carried this family." I leaned back, calm. "You've carried your lies, not us." That one sentence cracked the air like thunder. Nobody spoke, until Leah, almost whispering, asked, "Dad, what lies?" Mark's chest rose and fell. His hand trembled as he pointed at me. "You think you're better than us? You think your silence makes you wise?" "No, Peter. It makes you pathetic." Ethan laughed under his breath. "Honestly, Dad's right. You act so mysterious, but you're just bitter, always watching from the corner like some ghost. No wonder no one trusts you. Leah folded her arms, eyes darting. Is that true? Were you planning to run away with the money? I finally stood. My chair scraped slowly against the tile, the sound slicing the silence. I looked at all of them, steady, unshaken. You think this is about money? I said quietly. No. It's about what you all did to me. The words lingered in the air. My father blinked, caught off guard. My mother covered her mouth. Even Ethan's smirk faded. For the first time, they didn't know how to answer me. I was 19. Summer heat clung to the house like a curse. I had saved for 2 years, working double shifts, cleaning tables, stocking shelves, eating 1 meal a day sometimes. When I finally had enough to buy my first car, Dad called me into the living room. Ethan had wrecked his own, driving drunk. Dad's words were simple. You'll give him your money. He needs it more than you. I begged. I cried. But it didn't matter. Ethan walked away with my savings. I walked away with nothing but a pat on the back. You're a good brother, Dad said then. Sacrifice is what makes a man. That was the first time I realized sacrifice in this family meant me. Always me, and I never forgot. The front door creaked. Grandpa stepped in, cane tapping the floor, his presence heavier than his frail body should allow. Mark, he said, where's the money I entrusted you with? My father's face drained of color. His lips parted, but no words came. Ethan glanced nervously at him. Leah frowned, confused. Grandpa, what do you mean entrusted? I walked over, leaned close to Grandpa, and whispered 6 words only he could hear. Dad gave it all to Ethan. Grandpa's eyes hardened. Without hesitation, he pulled out his phone, speaking with quiet authority. Send someone over, now. Minutes later, a knock thundered on the door. None of us moved. 2 men in suits entered, followed by Grandpa's lawyer. Documents were laid on the table. This money was placed in Peter's name, not yours, the lawyer said firmly. Mark, you had no right. The house exploded. Mom broke down in sobs. Leah shouted at Dad, calling him selfish. Ethan cursed, blaming me for setting him up. I didn't shout. I didn't even raise my hand. I spoke slowly, each word cutting deeper than a scream could. I gave you all my silence, I said. Tonight I give you the truth. Leah turned toward me. For once her eyes weren't mocking. They were wide, searching, like she was seeing me for the first time. I picked up the documents. My father reached out weakly. Peter, wait. I looked at his hand, then at his face. The man who had called me pathetic now looked smaller than I had ever seen him. Mom stepped forward, voice breaking. Peter, I didn't know. I swear I didn't know. Her apology was clumsy, late, imperfect, but real. I gave her the smallest nod. Then I turned and walked out. Behind me, voices clashed, chairs scraped, the house I grew up in collapsing under its own weight. Ahead of me was silence. But this time, it was mine. Weeks passed. Grandpa met me often, not with pity, but with respect. For the first time, someone in this family treated me as an equal. Ethan didn't call. Leah sometimes did. Short, awkward calls where she didn't know what to say, but at least she tried. Dad stayed silent. His silence wasn't like mine. His was shame. I stood outside one evening, cool air on my face, holding the papers Grandpa had given me. The money was secure. My voice was secure. For the first time, I whispered, I don't carry their weight anymore. And that was enough. If you were in my place, would you forgive, or would you walk away forever? Tell me in the comments. Your voice matters here. Comment your thoughts. Like if you connected with Peter's pain and strength. Subscribe for more stories of truth, betrayal, and healing.